This. Awesome, Jules. Thanks so much for joining us. In today's chat, we're going to be chatting to Julia from Julep, and we're going to be talking a little bit about her journey, her story, a little bit about her product strategy, marketing in the e-commerce world, and how to get a really small e-com team just doing incredible things. So welcome. Just a little bit of a backstory. I met Julie at Fornos, I think about 2 years ago, when it was just an idea. And at the same time, we were launching Civitas, which was also just an idea. So we've really walked our journeys together, which has been really cool. But what's been even more fun is that I've become a regular customer of Julep, and they do box flowers, and they're amazing. I absolutely love them. And I have referred her to like 1 million people. And whenever I've got a gifting opportunity, I always get onto the Julep site. So Jules, just I think maybe to kick off, do you want to just tell a little bit about yourself, how Julep got going, and a little bit about the Julep sort of founder story?
Sure. Thanks so much, Paul. Yeah, I think, as you mentioned, we sort of started getting it off the ground, and I started it with my now husband. So it's not necessarily the textbook move, but it's worked out really well for us. So yeah, a couple of years ago, I think it's sort of two parts to the founder story in a way. One part, which is wanting to start a business, and then the other part is wanting to start a business in flowers. And they were quite sort of different rationale for each of those. In starting a business, I think I just wanted to have a little bit more fun professionally, I think, and do something a little bit more entrepreneurial, do something, I think a physical product was really attractive to me. There was a bunch of different things, but a lot of it was about changing the way that I spent my time and having more fun at work. And in terms of choosing flowers as a place to start or really to invest in, it was actually an idea that Nick, my husband, threw into the hat. And initially I really liked it because I love flowers, but it was once we'd planted that seed, the more I thought about it, the more excited I got about it, both from a just product and customer perspective, but also from a business perspective as well. So my background's in management consulting. I was fresh off the management consulting boat and kind of applied those tools to the flower industry and thought, okay, there could be something quite exciting, yeah. So that was sort of the rationale. And yeah, we started the business bit by bit, I guess. We set it all up ourselves. So from the website to product design, photography, all of that kind of stuff between Nick and I, just experimenting, and then started selling flowers quite quickly. I think after 3-4 months, we started doing some initial sales, started just on a Friday, then a Thursday and Friday, and then sort of as the demand started to pick up, we added more days of the week, spent more of our time doing it, and started a now quite exciting small business.
Amazing. So your team size now is?
5.
Five team, and you're full time in the business. And if I remember correctly, you even past break even, so you're making money.
Yes. Yeah, we are.
Okay, great.
Not money yet, but yes. And I think yeah, it's quite cool because the core team's 5 people. But the way the business is set up is there's a much larger, broader team. So we work with motorbike couriers to do all our deliveries, and having our flowers in a box allows us to do that. So we're working with 7 to 10 drivers a day. And there's obviously guys at the flower market that are sort of dedicated to us for a couple hours a day. So it feels like quite a big team, but sort of 5 at the core.
Awesome, eh? So Jules has been part of Civitas for I think about 2 years now, 18 months. Yeah. And I've got to sit in peer groups with her and really been impressed with her business brain. She's really got some great insights. And I'm going to give you the 3 best insights that I've come across. So Jules, the first one that really blew me away was a little bit about how you think about product strategy and how you differentiate in quite a competitive space. So I'd love you to just talk a little bit about sort of how you thought about differentiating there and simplifying and focusing on making a few things different.
Sure. Yes, I think product is almost at the core of what makes Julep different. So we're trying to do a lot of things better, I guess, in the flower delivery space. But product, I think, is the main differentiator for us. And the differentiation is that the flowers are flat laid in a box, essentially, and the receiver then sort of takes them out and arranges them themselves. And I think we thought quite a lot about what this shift from a product perspective could do for the receiver and the sender and the whole system as a whole. And we felt that was sort of the most important thing to get right. So the flowers as fresh as possible, the box being sort of super exciting to receive and unbox, etc. And it sort of sorts out a whole lot of issues also in the logistics as well, because delivering a bouquet is super tough. And so we thought that was really what we wanted to focus on and build a business around. And I think what we've done quite well so far is sort of kept that focus. So it's very easy, I think, to say add chocolates, add wine, add I don't know, teddy bears, a million different things, and maybe that is something we'll do down the line. But in the beginning, we said we just want to get this right and put all our energy on getting that right. And I think we're still super focused on that. Whether it's the box design, the card design, and the freshness of the flowers, it kind of always just comes back to getting those, 3-4 things, I think, absolutely spot on.
And then just one of the coolest little things, which I don't know if everyone's familiar with, is around the card. And I'd love you to just talk about the story about what do you do differently about the card and how that came about, and then also how your customers receive that, because I love that as a part of it.
Yeah. So I think we think about like the product as a whole. Also, it's quite an emotional product. Let's put it that way. So it's quite personal and it's emotional. You send flowers at emotionally important times of your life, whether that's celebrating something or sending condolences, or even sometimes just because can be quite an emotional send, and flowers convey that really beautifully. And we sort of thought about what else in the product can we do to make that or to reinforce that, let's put it that way. So the box design, as I mentioned, that excitement of unboxing is quite the sort of an emotional touch point. And then we thought on the card, let's put that almost completely in the customer's hand. So one option we have, and it's super easy for us to do actually, is you upload a photograph or an image to add onto your card. So instead of a julep brand or a julep graphic, there's a picture of you and your girlfriend and the note underneath, or you and your mum. And I think that can be a super meaningful part of the whole receiver's experience. And also something that lasts a little bit, you stick it on the fridge, and we don't put any julep branding on there at all. Actually, we just keep it sort of between the customers. But that's great. And it's interesting. We started with the idea of personal photographs, but the way our customers are using it now has expanded quite a bit. So we have corporates who just upload their corporate graphic or their logo, or so it's sort of immediately personalized in that way. Or illustrations. It kind of extends to whatever image you want to put up there.
Fantastic. Awesome, Jules.
Yeah.
So the next thing that I learned from you, which I absolutely loved, was your approach to marketing and marketing strategy, and how you sort of went about the marketing journey. So I would love you to just talk through sort of how you've made marketing the core of what you do, and how you allocate time around marketing, and maybe 1 or 2 tips around sort of how you got marketing going.
Yeah,
sure. Strategy.
And I think it's something we're still on a journey with. I think if I think about, even where we are now, I'd love us to even shift even more so towards marketing. But as I mentioned, when we started the business, we kind of tried to experiment and do everything ourselves, which is great. And it's that sort of classic bootstrapping philosophy. But I think you can get very caught into the operations of a business. And you're essentially going day to day, and the business was still growing in that context, luckily, because there was quite a lot of referrals, repeat customers, etc. But we sort of reflected on it and said, well, if the most valuable resource is particularly Nick and my time, and if we want the business to be growing at a faster pace, to be scaling quicker, etc., we need to be allocating more of our own time to marketing, essentially. So making sure that if we feel it is the biggest priority in the business over the next month, it needs to actually take up that amount of real estate in our diaries, essentially. And so we're quite, I think, or want to be quite good at making sure that we're spending the time on what is most important to the business.
So you actually schedule time in your diary when marketing is a priority. It's like this time every day. when you're
Yes,
really focusing on marketing? Like how many, is it like 10 minutes a day, hour a day?
Yes, it's not necessarily scheduled time. It's more saying, okay, we want to be spending 20-30% of our time this week on marketing, and whether that's developing content or just even thinking about strategy stuff. Yeah, so it's not necessarily, I'd say, scheduled time slots. It's more just keeping ourselves honest as to, are we actually investing the time that we need to be.
Amazing. And some of the things that you've done that have worked well, and then also talk a little bit about your journey around sort of learning the game of marketing.
Yeah, so I think it's a very good question. I think the main thing that we've done well actually is the fact, I think we're lucky that it's a gifting product, but I think the product really does speak for itself, if that makes sense. So we have so many people who are receivers that become senders, and senders who become repeat customers. So I think we actually first, that's I think the thing that we really focus on getting right, is just that consistency of excellent product. And then in terms of sort of the e-commerce, what we've done well on classic sort of e-commerce marketing strategy stuff, I think we're really careful about how we spend our money, actually. So we haven't thrown a lot of money in paid advertising. We haven't, I think we're super cautious, and then make sure that when we are deploying any cash, we're really excited about what we're doing. So that I think, I think we're really thoughtful about it, basically.
Awesome. Cool, man. And then the final one is, I know you've got like a small team now, but one of the things that is awesome about the Julep experience is just how everything from how it's delivered to how you open, it's all done incredibly well. As you can see, there's obviously a great attention to detail. I'd love you to talk a little bit about how you get a team which is often not highly skilled, so you're not dealing with MBAs, but often entry-level staff, and how you get them motivated to like really get the product out the door as well as you do get it out the door.
Yeah, I think both Nick and I are very hands-on, so I think that's set the tone from the beginning with the team, and anybody who joins us, they can see that we treat each box as if it's our own, and sort of we try and get the full team to take that same approach. And I think there's some sort of more structural elements to that, maybe some softer elements as well. And so I'll give you a couple of examples. I think on the sort of perhaps more harder elements is the team member who packs the box, they get a profit share on each box. And they're also very aware of our high return customer rate. And so we sort of on a weekly basis, we'll look at that return customer rate and say, X number of our customers have bought this week because they experienced a good product before. And so they really know that the more that the better the product is, the more that we're going to sell, and the more that they're going to sort of financially benefit from that, and also just, benefit from the growth of the business. So I think there's that side of it. But also we try and keep sort of the actual customer, the real individuals, front of mind as well. So we share all of our customer feedback verbatim with every member of the team on a weekly basis. So they're able to really read what the experience was and sort of what impact they've had. And also, we're engaging with the cards, with customer emails, etc. And we just try to bring to light these occasions that we're supporting and these moments that we're sort of involved with.
Amazing. Awesome. Hey, so it seems like you've really nailed the big three: product, marketing, and team culture. So that's, I think keeping the main thing. So Jules, if someone is interested in checking out Julep, how can they go and find you? Where would they find you?
The best is probably our website, so julep, julep.co.za, and we've got sort of all the social media handles as well, but the website's probably best.
Okay, fantastic. Thanks so much for your time and really appreciate it.
Thanks, Paul.